GDKPs are either the most efficient way to raid in Wrath of the Lich King, or they're the single biggest issue plaguing the game right now. Today, we're going to talk about the pros and the cons of GDKPs. By the end of this video, we'll decide whether GDKPs are a good thing or a bad thing for the game.
You are not prepared!
So what are GDKPs anyways? GDKPs are raids where loot drops are auctioned off to players. Then, at the end, the total pot is split amongst the raiders. Why are GDKPs so popular? Players are attracted to the easy gold, sometimes thousands of gold per raid. Plus, the loot is distributed much more efficiently. If you have the gold, you get the item. Why are GDKPs so controversial? Many players believe that GDKPs promote gold buying. Plus, GDKPs arguably lessen the community-focused systems that the game was based on. Okay, so now let's talk about the pros and the cons of GDKPs. First up, the pros. GDKPs are the most efficient loot system. Why? Because players are guaranteed to get something for their time, and every item drop adds to the pot, so players are engaged and excited throughout the raid. And other loot systems are just worse. Take soft reserve runs. Either you reserve a final boss item and have to compete with 5 other players in the role, or you reserve an item early on and it doesn't drop, and you're angry the rest of the raid. Or take Loot Council. Too many Loot Council guilds are designed to funnel loot to the officers and the leaders. Unless you're in a speedrunning guild, this just doesn't feel good. Or take the free roll system. Free roll, or main spec over off spec, does offer a fair chance to win every loot drop. But barely anyone does these runs anymore since there's no benefit to the organizers. Before we talk about the cons of GDKPs, hit the like button, click the subscription button, and hit that notification bell George Washington style. Another pro is that GDKPs keep players invested. GDKPs give geared players a reason to go back to old content again and again. What loot system other than GDKP would motivate a Bisc-geared healer to go back to Gruels? Plus, no matter how hard the run is, people are still going to stick around so they don't lose their cut. Okay, so let's talk cons. First up, GDKPs put too much focus on gold. Players were meant to engage with open world systems like herbalism and dailies between raids. But now, there's simply more gold to be earned by running more GDKPs. Plus, players have a way stronger reason to buy gold, which hurts game integrity. Another con is weird group building. In GDKPs, gold becomes the priority over performance or even loyalty. First-time raiders with stacks of gold have a priority raid spot in most GDKPs, and items are meant to be impressive. GDKPs erode the feeling of awe and inspiration that you're supposed to get when you see a geared player.
Wow.
You're just not supposed to question whether the player deserved the item or bought gold. And GDKPs take away from the amazing guild systems that are so important in this game. Why raid with a guild when you can just run GDKPs instead? In conclusion, I started out strongly disliking GDKPs in Classic WoW, but I have been running them lately in TBC with great results. I've been running Sunwell once a week in the Squilly GDKPs. Personally, I think the runs are just much more efficient, and for me, none of the other loot systems give me nearly as much for the time spent. So what's your take? Do you think GDKPs are good, or are they bad for the game? If you like this video, check out my GDKP guide. It's perfect for learning how to get into GDKPs and to maximize your profit.